My former partner and I decided together that we would like to get motorcycles. We signed up to ride with some of the local groups, and neither of us ever really felt comfortable joining those groups. And you know, the reason really was because we were gay, and we did not feel like we fit in, and we didn't feel comfortable disclosing about our private lives, about our personal lives in that environment.
I didn't want to ride with the local group that was here because I just didn't feel very comfortable with them. They're talking about their wives and their children, and then I didn't have anything to talk to them about when they asked questions like that. So I was pretty uncomfortable.
I was looking for a club, and one that happens to accept the gay lifestyle.
I had this idea of finding a group to ride with, and if I couldn't find a group, I wanted to start one. And so I started looking on the internet. I figured the best place to start, and I started doing some searches, and I found nothing in Arizona. And then I came upon an article in Atlanta, Georgia website for the Atlanta LGBT newspaper. And this article was about a group called the LostBoys. And as I was reading the article, it just sung to me. I just kept saying, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And the article talked about these two gentlemen who loved riding bikes. They loved bikes, and they wanted to be around other like people to ride and to socialize with. And so they started the LostBoys Atlanta. At the bottom of the article there was an email address, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give this a shot. I'm going to shoot an email off to this guy and just see if he'll respond. And so I sent him an email, and I basically just said that you know, I was an avid rider, and I had read his article, and I was so excited by it, and very interested in replicating what they had created. And from what they communicated in their article was that they had really, in a very short time, created a really nice, cohesive group of riders that comprised of a real mix of people: men, women, and straight, gay, transgender, bisexual. It was all inclusive, and that sounded perfect to me. I knew there had to be other guys like us out there, other men and women out there who rode bikes. Ken guided me in setting up a meetup site for LostBoys Southern Arizona.
I found the LostBoys and requested to join, and met the owner or organizer, Paul, and hit it off very well. He's a great guy, and so I started riding with him. I became really close with Paul, and he'd asked me if I would help him run the club, because one person can't do it all by themselves, and if something would happen to him and he wouldn't be able to post rides or whatever, then there'd be an alternate. So I was the first co-organizer for the LostBoys of Southern Arizona.
Two close friends of mine were members of the club out of Tucson, and in one trip from Vegas to Phoenix, they invited me on a ride. So I rode from Phoenix to Tucson to hang out with them, and that's how it all started.
Being a part of a club, of a riding club, a motorcycle club, whatever you want to call it, I think if you've ever had that experience of that fellowship that comes with that, you know how important that is, you know how valuable that is, and I believe that I've made friendships that will be lifelong. It's a good thing.
I'm not really sure what people know about the LostBoys. May think that we're a rough guns and drugs running group because we wear patches on our back, and you know, you can't always see what they are, so automatically they just think that we're a bad motorcycle group.
Comparing the LostBoys to a 1% motorcycle club like the Hells Angels, or what you might see on TV like the Sons of Anarchy, we don't have a patching in, we don't have prospects, we don't have a hang-around period, we don't have any of that. If somebody wants to join, they let us know through meetup.com.
It's actually pretty lenient. when they ask to join us, they'll be asked a series of questions. There's 4 or 5 questions that they have to answer. One of them is that most of our members are lesbian, gay, or bisexual, transgender, and does, how do you feel about that? Is that okay with you? And do you respect other people's privacy? And then after they answer the questions, then their membership request actually goes to the organizer and any co-organizer. And at that point, usually the organizer has been very involved in emailing them back to let them know what their intentions are, what they're looking for, to see if our group is actually a good fit for them. And we have found that by doing that, we have weeded out a lot of people that were just looking for, a hookup. It's all about the ride. We have certain rules that were handed down to us by our parent chapter in Atlanta, Georgia. It is not a hookup site, so some people have tried to join thinking that that's what it was a hookup site. We don't drink. Very rarely do you see a member drinking, especially when we're riding. It's all about riding.
So no, we're not a sex club. That's not what we're about. We're not a singles club or anything like that. Again, we're just a bunch of guys who like to ride motorcycles.
The community is just now becoming aware of what the Lost Boys are and what we're all about. Before they didn't know, but we're becoming more involved in community activities and actually done some fundraisers for the community. So our name is just not getting out there.
We've done a little bit over the last couple of years now. We've done a little bit of fundraising for the community. That's been fun to support other organizations in the city and in Pima County. But still, the focus is getting on our bikes and riding and eating a lot of times, and riding and eating and laughing.
I don't think that anybody actually has one political view that they try and force on another person. I think we all respect everybody, and everybody's view is respected.
It's a group. It's a group of guys that I get along with very well. Everybody accepts me for the way I am. I accept them for the way they are. It's the only friends I had in town when I first got here.
One of the best things about my involvement or participation in joining Lost Boys is I have met some of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. I haven't had a group of gay people that I could actually trust or confide in or do social things with. I've always been, I come home, I go to work, and not participate in any of that. And when I joined Lost Boys, I have met some of the most wonderful people. I have met my partner, and I've met some of my best friends. Actually, I consider my best friends. And with that, it just changed my whole entire life.
What I see is just more riding and getting together with great people and hanging out and socializing and having fun. Because that's really what it's about. It's riding our bikes. It's having a great time. We all got to this place in Lost Boys because we love to ride and we love our motorcycles, and it's kind of that common thing that brought us together. And I think it is what will continue to keep us together as friends.
We're just a bunch of guys who happen to have motorcycles, who like hanging around each other, and we all happen to be gay, that just respect one another, and we just go out and ride and have a good time. We're not about anything more than that.
It's been 3 years since the group was formed, and the amazing thing for me, and what I had hoped to see happen, and what did happen, was that friendships were formed, and I met people who I felt connected to. I felt for the first time that I could be with a group, ride my motorcycle, have fun, laugh, share who I really am as a person, as a man, and and that's been the most valuable part. I mean, the riding is great. All of us love to ride on motorcycles, and that's what brought us together. But the camaraderie that's happened is really the gift of the group.